you clicked on this video so that you could learn how to improve your Minecraft builds, and I am here to teach you on how to do just that. My name is Dylan or Avalanche, and today I'm going to be teaching you exactly how you will be able to improve your modern build. So let's get straight into it. So for tip number 1, which is probably the best tip that I can give you guys today, which is why I'm showing you right now, it is to build a floor plan. Now, usually you would think, maybe a floor plan isn't necessary. You don't really think about it. You just want to build, whatever. But let me tell you, it does multiple things, okay? So first off, I just built this up in like the last 5 minutes or so. I did this in a creative world. You could also do it in a creative world if you are building on survival. But what it does is a few things. So first off, we have these windows, right? So there are 5 blocks with a pillar in between, okay? So without that, my first initial sketch made it so I could do 2 of them 5 blocks, but the other one was 4. That's a very common issue that you would see when trying to build without a floor plan, is that you'll run into issues like that. As well as one other thing, it gives you a basic layout of how your house or build is going to work out. So a little tour real quick. We got one of the front doors here somewhere, and you walk in, you got like your little, you hang your coats up, and you got your couch, your chair, your TV stand, you got your kitchen, and you got a bathroom in there. You got 2 bedrooms, so you got your bed, a couple of bed stands, and then something like a closet or something, and a big TV stand with a window. Same over here, we got 2 windows, bed, TV stand, a couple of bedside tables, and a closet. And what that does is it allows you to really make up the room that you otherwise might not have, which brings us on to our second tip. Really quickly, I'm just going to ask you to like and subscribe, as it does help me a lot. So without any further ado, let's get back into it. So for our second tip, it is to give yourself more room than you would have originally thought that you would have needed. For example, right here, you just got this big open space, and what you could do is bring these windows back, or just leave this area open. And what that does is allows you to make decisions that you might not have originally thought of, right? So if I wanted to add something here, I could, because I had the room. Or if I wanted to expand the living room, I could, because that room is there. And that doesn't just go for empty space. That also goes for rooms. For example, I could have made this bed and these tables to go all the way to the corners of the room and shrink the room a little bit. And what that does is it obviously gives you a little less room to work with, which is good sometimes. And maybe you don't always have the area or room to do that. But in the cases that you do, it's always a good idea to just expand more and make it bigger than you originally thought. Maybe only by a couple blocks. And that, like I said, does a lot. So for example, these windows, again, you could bring those back 1, or you could just add some extra stuff in this room. All right, so on to our third tip, which is add depth when you deem necessary. So right here, we just got a basic plain wall with a couple of windows. So what you could do is you could add some glass, right? But then you'll be right up here next to the wall, which doesn't give you a lot of depth, not to mention it's a connected texture, which I'll get into later. But what you could do is just really simple, glass panes. Or if you want a lot of depth, what you could do is move this whole, there I go. Move this whole window back 1, and it gives you a lot more depth. So you can do that and bring it over here. You can see that adds a lot more depth than if you were to just make some glass right along the side. See, a lot more depth. So for our fourth tip, we have building taller ceilings than you would have already thought to. So here we got 5 block tall ceilings. What that does, let's go inside real quick. It gives you a lot more vertical space to put things like paintings on. So it's not just eye level or maybe one above eye level. and it kind of centers it into the wall, and it looks pretty nice. And also it gives you a feeling of it being more modern, right? So another thing that you could do on top of this is that little like dangling lights right here for the light fixtures for your tables. You could do a lot more stuff with taller ceilings. So tip number 5 is going to be improve your lighting. So how do I do that? Well, let me show you. First off, instead of just adding torches around the room or something, you could add things like end rods right here for a lamp. And then we have conduits up there in the ceiling, so they go down onto this stripped wood closet that I added here, as well as a skylight, which adds light for this painting that I put. And it adds it a lot of depth. So again, instead of just adding torches, do things like this. It'll go a long ways, especially skylights. Skylights are my personal favorite. So tip number 6 is going to be make sure you have a color palette like the one laid out in front of me right here. So we got a nice warm tone, we got a couple of grays and a white. And what this does is it makes it so you can have maybe like a pink in there or something, right? And a green. It just looks too busy. And actually that green does look pretty good if I do say so myself. Anyway, I built it in this room, so why don't I show you what that looks like. So here we got nice white floor. We got the wood, like the, what is this, brown tone here, mixed in with the brown, the brown all around the room, as well as the gray and the gray and gray. Everything just kind of matches color wise, and it just looks a lot cleaner. So for our 7th and 8th tip, it's going to be combined into one here. 6th tip being add some color. So I've added some color here with these accent walls in this green kind of color, and it looks really good. But for our 7th tip is to get rid of those connected textures. So that wall that you just built, why don't you just recess that in by 1 block, and it makes that texture, there's another one right here, so it makes that texture not so harsh, and it looks better. Not to mention it adds a little bit of depth, as well as over here. So this is just a flat wall. Again, with the depth, you can add more depth, but it also gets rid of that connected texture, as well as right here. So connected, not connected. All right, guys, for the 10th and final tip or trick is to make custom landscaping and trees for your builds. Not only do you have really cool trees that you can build, and I mean, sky's the limit, guys, right? But it adds so much to your builds. And never mind the texture pack, I did change it because I am on a different server now, and I'm going to show you what landscaping can do right now. So what I've done here is went to one of my builds that I built here recently, and it's built on this beautiful beach that is all custom terrain as well as custom trees. And I should be adding more over here, but I'm gonna just go over here real quick and show you how good these trees can look with a pretty decent build as well as good terrain. So I mean, guys, if this isn't enough for you, I mean, anything, you could put anything in this little plot right here and it'll look good because of the trees and the custom terrain. So that'll be it, guys, for the tips and tricks video. If you did like it, then go ahead and like and subscribe, as I'm almost at 1,000 subscribers and it helps me a lot. So thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.